I mean, it's on me for 5 seconds and it goes to the other side of the room.
Oh, well, it's oscillating fans. It's just kind of like, damn it, bro.
I mean,
like, come back.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't mess up our audio, I wouldn't mind it.
It doesn't. It's super quiet. It's on full power right
I'm
now.
fine with it.
I was gonna say I haven't heard nothing this whole time. I had to turn my fan off.
Yep, that's all I
Dude,
care about.
I
son.
forget it's even there, even when I'm feeling the breeze. I forget it's there.
As long as it doesn't mess up the audio.
It won't.
Cool.
All right.
All right, we're good.
We're good.
I think we're all good. Everybody all good? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
How's
I'm
it?
great.
Yeah.
How are you?
Sweet. I'm doing great. Just do me a favor. Can you all just talk real quick? I just want to make sure the audio level's right.
So back in 1965,
Back in Vietnam.
1998, I came into this
Golden. I love it. I turned it up just a little bit. This is awesome. Okay. Sweet. All right. I'm gonna do like a little intro, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys.
cool.
All right.
Sweet.
You think we can still hear us?
Probably hope.
Absolutely not. Okay. All right. We're here. Hello. We're just getting started. Hello. Can you hear me? Maybe not. I don't know. Can you? Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hey guys. Welcome. Today we're doing another podcast, but today's guest, I know it was kind of a spur of the moment. I forgot to, put a thumbnail out, this and that. I messed up only because fight other Austin to the death. I love it. Maybe I will. I don't know. But the guys are vibing right now. They don't know. They don't know that I'm as you can see. Anyways, but yeah, today we got jumperscape on. I'm super excited to talk to these boys, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So let's go ahead and get them on here. Let me unhit this. So sorry, yeah, eventually I'll get this down perfect and we'll be good. But until then,
We're just flicking off the camera. He pans. Goes, oh, okay, cool.
oh yeah, I did perfect timing actually. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Dang.
Oh no.
Then 13 Vermin already came in and said, "Fight other Austin to the death."
That's one of our mods.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Sounds about right.
That sounds about it. I'm also watching Chad as well.
Yeah, he's got to monitor the gremlins. I feel it.
Yep.
There are people. We love that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta keep a tight leash on him. I feel it. Oh man.
Some more than others.
So I guess the first question is for those of you who aren't aware of Jumperscape. If you guys could just explain to them who you are, what you do, and
He's pointing to me because he knows that I'm the only one that can answer.
there you go. No pressure. The 3D tracking's on, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that. Absolutely. We talked about this backstage. Anyway. All right, so what is Jumperscape? That's an excellent question. Jumperscape was an idea back in 2020 to allow creatives to have an opportunity to tell the stories and do the projects that they want to do that they don't know how to do by themselves, or they don't know how to do by themselves yet. So when we started the whole thing back then, it was the group of us and a few other connections that were interested in helping out others and making creative things happen. And progressively, as we've gone along, especially this year, we've been able to really match with our slogan, which is empowering creatives to be creative. And we've enabled things like short films. We've enabled things like audio dramas. We've enabled things like, most recently, probably one of our most popular ones that people know about the most is the Calendar Project, which incorporates 15 different artists into one project that turned into something a whole lot bigger than we thought we were ever going to see out of it. So that's probably one of the best examples that we have right now of our work going extremely well. And as we progress further, it's going to get more and more interested in trying to become more of a bridge for people to go from point A, amateur hour, to point B in their favorite industry. We have a couple examples of that already. If I can list a special case, we have a composer. He composed season 1 of one of our shows called Tarkov: A Halo Story. And he went on to work on a tiny little game you might have heard of it, Jedi Survivor. And so this whole goal has obviously gone incredibly well so far. And if I were to summarize Jumperscape into one sentence, though, it would be completely different. It would be, we like to have fun here.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, I love it, man. That's awesome. So I guess the follow up for that would be, what kind of made you make that decision to kind of start empowering others and start as a creator? Because a lot of people really just kind of are all about the like me, but like it's super cool to see like people kind of reach out to others and be like, hey man, like let me give you a leg up and help you out. So like, what kind of made you want to go that route?
Well, since I was the one that started this whole thing from the beginning, I suppose that'll be my origins in a way. It honestly, it started because back in college, it was about 2019, 2020, around the time that the idea came about. I won't say that I was an awesome student, but I was at least good. And with this whole thing, what ended up being the case was there were some students on campus who wanted to learn audio engineering. If anyone has listened to any of our podcasts, if anyone can see the stuff we're working with, if anyone can hear our voices currently, I know what I'm doing. Somewhat. Arguments can be made that I don't. But because of that, there were some students that were interested in learning, but my professors, who I was great friends with, didn't have the time nor the interest in teaching them specifically audio engineering. So I some people were doing sketchy things in college. I was dealing black market audio engineering classes. And so it's like 5 or 6 people in a call at 8 p.m. at night. Me just showing them like, okay, so here's Adobe Audition, and for those of you who are poor, here's Audacity. I'll show you that too. And
poor.
And so detailed classes on that, and through seeing their excitement for learning this new medium, it wasn't even the fact that they were sitting there just saying like, oh, it's great that you know this stuff. It wasn't even about that. It was just watching them learn was so exciting. And I think that's probably exactly why this is still so fascinating to me, is because as we've been able to work with more people, as we've been able to branch out and even work with people in our own Discord server to empower them to do something creative, something fun, it's constantly watching them get all excited about it. I think that's really what made it so appealing. It's just fun watching people get excited about being creative.
I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome. I mean, it's super cool. Like, it's super admirable too to see people like go out of their way. Because like I've always been a thing. Like, if you don't know this, I'll show you. I don't know how people do the whole like gatekeeping thing. It just like irritates me. I'm like, bro, let me show you like how to do this. Because like I had a buddy who was starting out streaming and he didn't know OBS, and we had a buddy who knew OBS and he didn't know how to use it, or he knew how to use it, but my buddy didn't. And he's like, bro, will you help me? He's like, no, dude, figure it out on your own. I'm like, brother, look, let me set this up for you.
Oh, come on.
Dude, don't be an asshole. Like, look, he's like, dude, relax. Like, it's okay. So I always like admire like being able to
talking like that's not like super fun. I got to show these guys how to get OBS running, and that was like some of the most entertaining 2 hours of my life.
We've had some fun moments.
Yes, exactly. It's been entertaining to see the creativity be more interesting, as it's like, oh, you understand this now, so now you get why this is so much fun to do.
Yes. And every Windows update ruins it every single time.
Oh, every single one. Yeah, I'm still scared that right now, because this is a little bit of an older laptop, it's just going to be like, you have an update in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Surprise update. No.
No, don't do it now. Don't say it now. Not while, let's see, Metropolis is playing.
If you can tell.
You can tell. People can. They got this.
Yeah,
I believe in them.
They get the idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if not, just go ahead and ban yourself. Actually,
for real. If you don't know what's on screen, if you don't know what this whole screen is,
yeah.
What kind of TV is this?
Yeah. If you can't tell me what cables are on the back, if you say HDMI, you're already out. You know what I'm saying? Just like, just saying.
No way someone would say HDMI. If someone,
You want to bet?
I would guarantee.
There definitely would be. There's some. But yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No problem.
I was gonna say, there's no way. I wouldn't put it past nobody. Like, wait, what's HDMI? I'd be like, all right, brother, it's been real. You know what I'm saying?
Ban that man.
Yeah.
Did we ever introduce ourselves yet? Or?
Well, we introduced the company. We haven't introduced us, the people.
Oh, okay.
Should we introduce us, the people?
Absolutely introduce us to people.
Sure.
It's been like low key bothering me this whole time.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So, how about like a name and like something we enjoy working on since we do a lot of stuff.
My name is Connor, and I enjoy working on making what content I can when I have the time for it.
You'll see him the most on our podcasts and occasionally just in a random machinima that we make for fun.
I like to have fun.
Yes. I'm Austin, creative director for Jumperscape, and you'll see me on almost everything that we touch in one way, shape, or form.
Okay, my name is Shane. I like working on whenever we do machinimas. I enjoy doing those. I've gone back with Austin like in the early 2010s and doing machine, like that's where it all kind of started for me. I have a very big interest in doing content creation. We do have a YouTube channel. I'm not well versed in editing yet, but that is the plan when I have time in the future. So I can
yet.
Yes. It's gonna happen. I have the most fun probably at least assisting in making our YouTube videos, and by assisting I mean literally just play while Austin, does all the editing.
Yeah, what he's talking about, we have a YouTube channel that's just called The Battle Dudes, spelled DOODS. That's our when we're not doing official things, we're doing that one for fun.
Yep.
And then because somebody did ask where James is at, he could not make it tonight.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, no.
He's gone.
We lost him.
Yep.
Into the shadow realm.
That was what that was? I thought it was a car accident.
No. Neither, really.
I mean, if you think about it, technically, it could be classified as the shadow realm.
It could be. Yeah, work.
Employment.
So that's why he's not here. But James, if he were to answer, he would say, I'm James. I'm a guy. I'm on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great time. That's probably verbatim what he would say.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Roughly in that ballpark.
Yes.
He'd probably mention voice acting, and he would definitely mention James does a decent bit of voice acting. I have also done a little bit of voice acting.
You
not
were
much.
You were literally a Spartan.
Yes. That was like my first time like actually doing any type of voice act. Actually, I was also a Wraith Commander too.
You were a Wraith Commander.
Yes, I was a Wraith Commander.
Yep.
James was a grunt. Was he not?
He was a grunt, Phantom Pilot,
Yep.
a whole bunch of other stuff. Command & Conquer 3 of Evolutions mod made by Choke Point Games, coming out eventually.
Yeah, coming out eventually. Yeah, James would probably touch heavily on his voice acting, and you will see him mostly in, the library or Get On, and also on the Battle Dudes YouTube channel.
And he's also prominent as a character in Tarkov: A Halo Story.
Correct.
And Room 237.
And Room 237 streaming
yes.
every Friday. We have to plug it every time because now
Yes.
it's just a joke.
Yes, he does. He does a horror movie podcast that goes out every Friday.
Yeah, one that he left his set up here. I had to take it all down before we started this.
Yep.
I'm so glad I was muted because I would have totally cut you all off in the middle of you all explaining. But 13th is just going at you right now, Shane. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He said, "Look at the camera, Shane. Talk to us, not the ceiling."
I'm like rattling off everything that I wanted to say. I'm like, did I miss this? Did I miss anything? Whenever I'm like rattling things off in my head, I kind of just look
Listen,
up.
statistically speaking, no matter where you're looking in the earth, you're looking in the general direction of someone that you know, especially if you're us.
Exactly.
You're looking down a lot because I'm also watching chat.
And I'm just staring off into the middle distance right there at that old fan.
Yes. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it just caught me, but oh my god, out of nowhere, I was paying attention and I was listening, and I would look over for 1 second, see that, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. Thank God I was muted. I just. Oh goodness. But that's
Well, what about you, Mr. Brink? Who are you? What's this show about?
I'm Austin. I lay claim to the number one.
No, you're not.
Number one
Different
redhead
one.
on Infinite. It's on my ID, I promise. I promise. No, but no, I've been doing like little bits of like Halo content over the years. It's just been kind of like here and there, like the occasional like I'll try to put out like, oh, let's do something dope. Let's like make something like, like do an update video. What's gonna happen next on 343? And then I quit doing that shit because I was like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. I gotta find something else.
Plus, it's an oversaturated market. To
Oh
talk
my
about.
god, yeah. It just gets to a point where it's like, okay, it just feels like I'm literally making the same thing this person's making, except it's just a redhead with long hair. That's literally the only difference. That's it. So
Yeah.
But then I got to the point now, and I just recently just came up with this idea. I was like, dude, let's just do something dope. Let's just bring people on that you haven't heard of, and just like expose them to, just whoever, man. And like I said, my whole point in this, dude, is just to find more Halo creators and just see like, see what they bring, because like there's a lot of stuff out there I feel like people don't know. Like, there's people that know like your main ones like Hidden Xperia, who big fan of him. I met him in Atlanta, super cool guy.
Atlanta, yeah.
And then it's just the end thing for me is just bringing more people around the Halo community and just showing them, hey, look, these people are fucking dope. Go check them out, So
Yeah, that's a great idea. And hey, you know what? In the future, I'm gonna do networking right here and now on the show. We have tons of small creators that we're friends with. We could totally plug you with some.
Totally. If you ever have anybody, like, I'm always open to speaking to them. Like,
sweet. All right. So this means we actually have an excuse to talk to each other after we're done here.
Yeah. Don't yeah, but like
yeah, but no.
Okay, now that you're being antagonistic, this is how this has to be. All right. Now
okay,
listen, your name's Austin, mine is Austin. You have the red hair. I don't. What's your SPF level?
Oh my god.
Ooh, SPF level? My SPF level, dude, like I get burnt. I'm probably getting burnt by this ring light if that tells you anything, that's probably about where my SPF level's at.
Okay, so like you're afraid to open the refrigerator then?
Yeah, if I open the refrigerator light just ruins my whole day.
Damn, he's good.
Absolutely.
We're really battling to see who's more reflective.
Yeah.
Austin opened his laptop screen up and he got third-degree burn.
Why do you think I had to put this thing on real quick? This jacket.
from the laptop. He opened up the laptop and that's what did him in.
I had a whole like suit and tie setup underneath this thing.
Suit and tie, just third-degree burns? Absolutely not. No, dude. No, I think I probably have the most like the highest SPF level one could have, to be honest.
Fair.
So I'll take
I
that.
like to put myself at third.
I don't know. You and James, man. James burns like really, really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. James.
I don't-
I'm probably the only one in this room though that has actually gotten disfigured from sunburn.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Quite recently, I got pretty burnt on my face.
Say Connor had a bad sunburn on his face on you went boating or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his face was really fucked up for a little while.
Yeah.
Really fucked up.
I'm not telling my story. It's funnier by not explaining it.
Fair enough.
Leave it at that.
You got to, man. You got to. Dude, I work in the sun all day, so I'm just like surprised I'm still alive, if I'm being honest. So like, I'm right there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my god, dude. So I guess the question more so was like, what made you all kind of gravitate toward Halo? Because I'm assuming you all played, since obviously the yellow, red, white cable TV behind you, CRT. I'm assuming you've played for a really long time and really just love the franchise. So
Most
I guess
of us have.
Hey,
Ooh.
back in the day when I was when I started
Can you
playing,
figure out which
it
one
was-
hasn't played as much?
It was my boy down the street. His name was Ben.
Everything
Ben.
was fine until you brought up this deep-seated drama
Mhm.
between us.
We were
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I'm here to do. It's like this just turned into Dr. Phil. You're welcome. Anyways, back to
It's
you.
a therapy session.
Well, that's a good NF song. Let's see. So, okay, so here's a fun fact. So, I wasn't allowed to play Halo until I was 13. I was allowed to watch my brother play it, and my first experience with my favorite Halo game, ODST, was sitting there watching my dad and my brother play through the entirety of it in co-op in one night, just kind of sitting there in a movie theater chair watching it. And then I didn't get to see the ending because they got that one bug where the elephant at the end could explode right on a checkpoint. And so I never got to see the game's end until I played it for myself like a year later. But that was the start for me with Halo. Was I was one of those kids that watched his brother play Halo 3, saw that the leaves were reacting to getting hit and shot and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's the future. And that's basically where my obsession started.
Just some leaves in a video game. I love it.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff.
For me, I first got into Halo when I would go down to, like I said earlier, my friend's house who lived down the street from me. I would go over there. I would be player 2. We would go through the campaign together. We would always do 1v1s, or he would have some of his family members over, and we would have 2v2s or free-for-alls, or just whatever you do to mess around in Halo.
Yeah.
I was probably about 8 years old. What did you just do to Connor?
His foam was coming off the
I thought
mic,
you
my
just,
guy.
I thought you just went over and like caressed his face. I'm like, what?
Not on camera.
Not on
That's for after.
Oh my god, I saw it in the camera. I'm like, what are you doing? God, okay, hold
No,
on.
I'm fixing the foam. The foam's coming off the mic.
I gotta lock the fuck in. What was okay? So I was about 8 years old. I grew up. I had a PlayStation 1, and I got a PlayStation 2. I was Team PlayStation all the way. I was playing like Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, even some of the older Call of Duty games on PS2. Thought for sure like, oh, when PS3 comes out, like it'll be mine, whatever. I went across the street around Christmas time in 2007. And I walked in, went to his basement because that's where his whole gaming setup was, and his giant flat screen was. And he was playing a game I've never seen before, and he's like, "Oh, dude, it's Halo." And I'm like, "Oh my god, well, what's it rated?" He's like, "It's rated M." I'm like, "Dude, I can't watch this." He's like, "No, dude, chill." He's like, "Just come watch me after this mission. We can play together." I played my very first Halo mission was the Ark and Halo 3. That was my very first mission. I immediately fell in love. And it took me a few months to literally like work up the nerve and the balls to go ask my mom like, "Hey, can I buy a rated M game?" Halo 3 was my first rated M game. And then on my birthday, I got an Xbox 360 and I got Halo 3. And that's kind of just how it went for me. I played the Halos in a backwards order. I played Halo 3, then I went to Halo 2, then I went to Combat Evolved. I don't know why I played. It's just kind of how it happened.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
You put the pieces together.
No, yeah. Yeah. What really stumped me was like the ending of Halo. I mean, I guess it made sense. When I played Halo 2, I'm like, oh my god, like this ending is just like really boring for me. I'm like, it made sense, but I was just kind of like like the bar was set really high considering Halo 3 was my first Halo.
I was a hype little boy when I saw that ending.
Yeah.
That's because Halo 3 was on my shelf right there.
It was the first time I experienced I guess a cliffhanger. I mean, I guess if you want to, I guess, I mean, it was meant to be a cliffhanger if I played it in the right order, but considering I played Halo 3 first, I didn't, that was my first time I experienced a cliffhanger in a Halo game.
Okay.
Or in a game in general.
Okay, in a game in general. Because I was going to say, you're telling me you didn't watch Reading Rainbow with That's Why It's Called Cliffhanger?
Oh my god. No, I did.
And that's why he's called Cliffhanger.
Oh my gosh.
You're just mad that I'm reminding you of pleasant memories.
I am.
I'm reminiscing as well.
Back to the good old days.
Oh yeah. Oh, James is here. Hold up.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
There you
James, whenever we're not present, we turn into a cat. Last week it was Connor.
go. That's amazing.
No,
I'm still recovering.
I will answer the previous question for James though. I was basically James's gateway friend. I introduced him to Halo. He came over, we played split screen, played the campaign. He was a PlayStation guy as well. I convinced him to get an Xbox, and it's kind of how it went from there. Most people have that friend that like showed them the game. I was that friend for James. I was that friend.
Yep, that's how. It's literally a similar story for me. The same way, like
Most people have that same story to like.
it's
It all
always
starts with
the
I
friend.
went over to my friend's house, or it always starts that way. Every
actually-
single one.
Famously, we have a couple people in our server that actually were those friends, and up until that point, had never met any of them, but supposedly they are real.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't think those people still existed. I thought those people were like, "Yep, I played it, and I was just done, and that was it." Now you just took it, ran with it. That's probably literally how it was for me. I remember going over to my buddy's house, and it was kind of similar where he was playing Halo, and I was like, "What is this?" And then he said it was rated M, and I was like, "Dude, my mom's gonna kill me. Like, all I play is Madden. Like, no, this ain't gonna work. Like, you know." And then he's like, "Dude, relax. It's fine. You can play." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then like, it was Halo CE, and it was Assault on the Control Room. It was my first mission. I'll never forget it, and it was the craziest thing. And then we played all the way up till we played Keys, and then that's where I was like, nope, I gotta go home. Like, nope, that's it for me. I can't. Dude, the flood freaked me out to no end.
Handle scene, bro, turned into a whole like pops. Not what am I thinking? Lollipop. Just big old ball of ugh.
Yeah, dude, that was just disgusting. I was like, I can't. I was like, there's no way. This is not gonna work for me. He's like, yeah, don't even come back over if you can't play the game. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just stay home then. Like, that's fine.
I'm glad we all had the same experience of like we can't play rated M games, guys. Straight up, Okay, do you guys remember Seth's old Halloween parties?
Mm-hmm.
So during one of those, you know me, I don't do this. This was wild for me. He had World at War playing. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I picked up the controller.
Oh, you had to have scarred yourself.
No. I was having fun. My mom walked in, and I never want to see that look on her face ever again. So I haven't.
So Halo 3 arguably shouldn't be rated M. If it wasn't for the flood, Halo probably wouldn't have been rated M.
No, they had to kind of like. It was gonna be rated T. Comedy Evolved all the way back then. But
Now, Call of Duty World at War, on the other hand, that should very well be rated M. Every other line, there's a swear word. The dismemberment is insane, and it's actual people, not
But
aliens.
Mom, it's historically accurate.
yeah,
I don't think that argument probably would have went well for you.
no, I didn't argue. I was sitting there in my
You
my
took the
Star
L.
Killer outfit from Force Unleashed, crying.
Took the L.
I'll do
Anyway.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. There's a game I don't even think like you should have. I don't think people should have bought it until they were like 30. Was Gears of War, playing that for the first time?
That was one of my first games. One of my first M games I ever played. I remember I was home by myself, and my dad played at the time. Like, I'm gonna check this out. I played a level, and I'm like, I'm scared now. I'm putting this down.
It's literally for me. I think it was on like the Xbox Marketplace. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Let me try this out. Big super soldiers, giants or whatever. This is dope. Dude, I remember like just running at someone, and it was when they could use the chainsaws and they could just saw you in half, and it fucked me up so bad. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. My mom was like, what are you playing? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. This was just on, bro.
I'll never forget just scraping my jaw off the floor my first time. I'm like, whoa, that's a bit much.
Dude, yeah, I was like, dude, I gotta play this game like in the morning when there's like people up and awake, the sun's out. Like I can't do it. Like this is just not gonna work like at all. So no, I was totally against it. But so how long is the podcast, or I guess as a whole, because is it kind of like where you all are starting to kind of venture off and do like your own similar podcast? Because I know you said James has Room 2. What was it again?
Room 237.
237. Good thing I'm dyslexic because I about said 73. Okay.
Oh, dyslexia. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can give you an exact answer instead of those being one of those guys. It's like, oh, I think I did it about 4 years ago. No,
Yeah.
no, those answers are fun, but no.
Yeah. Go ahead.
First episode launched on April 20th, which is funny because 4/20, 2023. And we've been doing the show since then consistently without missing a week. And yeah, there have been some other shows that have come out of it. A couple of them are coming up pretty soon, and one of them has already launched, actually. Pretty much, Library started production back in February of 2023. And then after that, it was months of planning. Anyone who ever says that podcasts are easy, no. Then, after all of that was done, Room 237 came out about half a year after that, and it's a horror films podcast hosted by one of the hosts, James, and his girlfriend, Ashton. That show has actually been just actually decimating us on YouTube numbers anyway, which is real funny to me, but they've been doing well for themselves. And then we had another show that just launched last week called Get On the Podcast, and it's called that because the most frequent thing that we say to each other in relation to video games is get on. Get on Xbox, get on Helldivers, get on Halo. So we turned it into a whole podcast name, just talking about general gaming perspectives and all of that. And then we have another show that is pretty much our final soiree into the Halo universe, because we've already contributed so much, because we probably could get really easily into our non-podcast stuff later on. But the final podcast that we're working on at the moment for this year is something called Chatternet. We revealed it about 2 weeks ago, and it's going to be a daily Halo radio show with 14 different segments. So it's going to have, every day will be a different segment on a cycle, and it'll have 14 different hosts, which will be fun. And we're talking folks from all around the community, mostly people from our Discord, obviously these guys, but also folks like Clutch from Clutch Academy. He'll be doing a HCS segment. Why not from Why Not Be Casting. He'll be doing a different Halo Championship Series segment. It's going to be really fun, and that one launches on October 6th.
Dude, that's sick. I like that. A daily Halo radio show. That's actually sick. And I mean, everything. I mean, like just branching out and doing all those different things. I'm sure, like you said, podcasts aren't easy, and I'll be the first one to say the same thing, dude. Because it's like, it people are like, oh, all you do is just go on there and talk. But like, yeah, if I get on there and just talk, and it's just like, blah, 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 it's just word vomit. Like, you know.
Plus, if you get on there and you just talk, and your audio setup got jank, or your set actually got messed up, or your camera got messed up, and all of this happened in post, so you can't go and reshoot it.
Exactly.
It's just how it is. That file management, there's a lot of layers to it. I should just do a podcasting course.
There you go. Most definitely. I mean, you definitely could, man. But I give it to you. I don't know how you're able to do all that you all do is insane.
I agree.
I get like just even try, just even like, because I was like, okay, let's try doing this weekly and see how this rolls, and it's just like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm trying to do this, and then I'm trying to run a tourney like at the end of September. It's just like, I'm like, dude, it's just like
dedication.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I love it.
When
man.
we first started, it was like, it was hard to like. Well, at first there was another host named Bryant. We had him on, and him and Austin were more well versed on lore, and it was me and James. Connor wasn't with us yet, and a lot of it was a lot of Austin and Bryant word vomit, and me and James like, oh yeah, I played that mission. that character is cool. Like, it just, as things have gone on and we've planned out our topics and conversations a little bit more, it's become a lot more easy and fluent. We used to use like Audacity and do a call like from home and do it that way, and the quality of it wasn't as good. We really
Shout out
started
to Adobe Enhance.
Yeah, what he said. We really started hitting our stride like when we started like coming together and doing it in person, and becoming more like, instead of it just like you said, word vomit, just a more laid back, somewhat casual but still informative style between all of us.
100%.
Except for that Monopoly episode.
Yeah, we did a very very long episode where we played Halo Monopoly, and it went on for a fat fucking minute.
As soon as you said Monopoly, I was like, oh, that was 8 hours easily. That's 5 to 7 business days.
All of our asses in 3 hours.
Yeah, it was about 3 hours.
Yeah, he just walked in, became a genuine businessman for a second, and just screwed all of us.
Yeah.
All this luck goes into Monopoly, I swear.
But
the beautiful capitalism, love it. I guess that's the thing too, man. Is like, what really drove you all into like really kind of like hyper analyzing like the Halo lore and stuff like that? What was it that drew you to it?
Oh, gentlemen, is that a question for me?
I mean, I can answer.
I mean, I generally like going through the lore on YouTube videos and whatnot.
Okay. I probably have the most deep thing going on,
so
you
probably retained the most.
Or Austin has like the most knowledge about like really really expansive lore, a bunch of books that add to the lore. I'm not a reader. I haven't read any of the. I read one book at one, not even its entirety. But like the big thing for me was like I played all the games like through and through, enjoy them, know like some background knowledge. And it came down for me, like Austin talked about starting this podcast, and for me, it was just like, okay, well, I mean, if anything, I'll learn a thing or two. And it's a franchise that I'm passionate about, and I want to see do well. It's linked to my childhood, so I'm like, yeah, why not? So I mean, that's kind of where I was in terms of like, okay, yeah, I'm down to do this.
Sick.
Yeah. On my end of things, it was a slow burn, honestly, because I only really started getting interested in Halo lore probably in the last 2 or 3 years. Because before that, it was just, man, I love playing Halo. I really enjoyed it. I have, I think, on record now, 209 days of playtime in just MCC's campaigns. I love playing them. They're fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. And then after a little bit, I remember making this discovery for myself. Someone asked us a question about this too at some point on one of our Q&A segments, but there was a question of, what's one thing, like one deep lore thing that you discovered for yourself that you're rather proud of? And mine was the thing that really got me interested in this whole thing. It wasn't a YouTuber, it wasn't anything like that. It was, I was doing the last mission of Halo 3, Halo, and that there's that hidden area that makes Cortana. I always do it because it's just funny to hear her say it every time. Where are you going? You know, that part.
Exactly.
I went down that way because I was trying to find the skulls or something. And, oh, I'm free. Okay.
Bye, James.
And I was trying to find the skull, got it, and then I was continuing to walk, and I noticed there was another hole in the wall, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I go and look, and I find that terminal, and it was the first terminal that I read carefully, like really like try to take in everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's mendicant bias. And but at the same time, it wasn't just, oh my gosh, it's mendicant bias. It's, wow, who is mendicant bias? Yeah. So that started a whole thing of going down a whole bunch of Halopedia links and trying to learn things for myself. And the interest in lore slowly grew from there, especially after we started working on actual lore-based projects. That's when things really started kicking off. And so ever since then, it's been a fun, consistent exploration of what else can you find that's new and what else can you find that you just haven't seen before. I do still think, I've said this before, Halo's lore is sort of like a hourglass, and usually it's really good at adding sand to the hourglass, but recently it's been running out of sand, and it's been kind of unfortunate. So like lore is still interesting, but I'm running out of new things to really retain that isn't just super, super niche. And that's the sort of stuff about being the lore guy, that it's like, oh, well, now it's not really pulling as much as it did before, when I was still learning what black daggers were and what the ODST, SPF or SDF were. What are they? Something special forces. Point being, all sorts of stuff like that. I'll tell you what didn't pull me in. I'll tell you what is honestly like back and forth for me. The Waypoint Chronicles. That one is interesting. It's been an interesting experience as a lore guy. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Go ahead.
You're totally fine. Go ahead, Connor. It's your turn. You got to zip your your hoodie up a little bit. Your half zip, zip it. No.
It's a t-shirt. T-shirt. I'm not exposing myself too much now. As far as lore goes, in the newer games, I haven't played them too much, and like in 4 and 5, I honestly kind of struggled to remember the names. But 3 and ODST were probably my favorite games that I've played. I've always liked going into like the audio logs and that, listening to those, just going through the city, just seeing like the small Easter egg spots that I came across with my friends, with these guys, and be it my old childhood friend. When I was a kid, I never had a chance to play 2 or Combat Evolved too much. I barely played Wars, but I only had the demo version of it. I can't remember if it was 1 and or 2. But I played the crap out of the demo version, just never got it because I was a kid and I barely got new games too often.
Right.
That would do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man after my own heart here. ODST is my favorite Halo.
Yes. I feel like ODST is one of the most like criminally underrated games, and then people are like, oh, don't have multiplayer. Well, like you can't enjoy like the other things it had. Like
the only point that ODST haters can stand on is that it was sold at full price. Other than that, you can't talk about anything else. ODST was fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. I loved it. The only thing I didn't love was doing the Vidmaster challenges. Those were a nightmare, honestly. That was the one thing I hated.
I had a great time, but that's just me.
Oh, must be nice. I didn't. My friends would disconnect on.
I was one of those guys that was loading up Dark Souls and getting hype about it, not scared.
Oh my god.
No, not Dark Souls. That's crazy.
No, that's insane.
I love those games, man. Like right now, we're trying to go through a game. It's trending at the moment. It's Chained Together.
Yep.
Listening to these guys have basically panic attacks, and I'm sitting there just like, I can't see me. No. A great time.
When we hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, that was our special. was chained together, and it was on. We uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah.
It
So
was
like, if you want to hear, if you want to hear some of our bitching and some
Just
of our
straight
rants,
up vitriol.
yeah, no, it's say that it got to a point where like I said some pretty awful things to Connor. I didn't mean them, but I'm like, you know what? I'm angry. It'll be funny. I'm just gonna let loose.
Then we go back, watch the footage, and I just get slung off the platform.
Oh yeah, there was one point during this video where Connor, for whatever reason, Connor has a wired connection, and his game kept tweaking out on this one part that wasn't even that hard, but like none of us, we were all locked in, focusing on where we need to jump and when. And poor Connor got bitched at so much for this. He jumped on a platform. He was on the left side of it, and his character. I didn't see it in the time being. When we were playing, all I just saw was just him jump off. So I started motherfucking him to death. And then I watched the YouTube video. He lands on the left side of the platform, and he just whoosh, like a big gust of wind blew him off the right side. And it was not his fault in the slide. Like there was literally nothing he could do, and I was bitching him out for like 5 minutes over it, and it was not even remotely his fault. And it was only that one section he started lagging on too. I don't know why. He was at the time. I'm pretty sure he was the only one who had a wired connection too.
Like I would jump into the obstacle, like, oh, I'm screwed. Carry me.
You know, honestly, I think that game was healthy for our relationship.
Yeah,
Probably.
that was probably the best like bonding exercises anybody could ever do. Just play
I
chain
mean,
together.
I don't know about
You need
bonding.
a good excuse to talk shit about each other from time to time.
That's true.
Oh my
This is the
god!
perfect
No,
excuse.
it was, it was a time. It's a good video too. If anyone checks
Yeah.
out the YouTube channel, please watch it.
Yes.
You'll laugh, guaranteed, or your money back.
We give them money.
No. No, we don't.
It's
We
like
don't.
that scene from what was it? Oh my god! He's like, "Wait, you guys are getting paid?"
Oh yeah.
Wait, you guys
For
are
the
getting
Millers. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. That's awesome though. I don't know, man. Like, is Connor the punch dummy? Like, I'm starting to feel that. Like, is Connor the punch dummy?
For that video, it was him and James.
For just
Yeah.
that video?
No, I mean, I'd say for most of the videos, Connor probably is, but for that video, it was probably James more than anything.
For that video, yes.
James is very jump challenged, we'll say. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And
James does not do well with jumping over obstacles.
or pressure.
Which is so weird because he works at jumperscape. I'm not gonna make that joke.
God, I hate you. No, but we did when Lethal Company had all of its hype. We punched out a good bit of Lethal Company videos, and like if we do another one, we need to add like a James death counter for every time he falls to his death. There's one video, he fell to his death, I believe, like 4 or 5 times in one video. And then in the chain together video, he's like, I'm sorry. Like, we're sitting there all yelling at him, and then like there's an awkward silence, and he's like, guys, I'm sorry. I told you I'm the worst person in the world for this game. It just got like it got really bad. It got really, really bad after a while.
Out of all people, you chose me, and you know I'm jump challenged. Like, yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, Connor's the punching bag.
Yeah, but most of the videos.
Long story. Yeah. Long story short, Connor's punch a bag. Got
Yeah,
it.
you see that shit-eating grin? He knows. He knows.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. I will say the right things to absolutely just piss these guys off. It is a specialty sometimes.
The gritty statues.
Yeah.
The gritty statues. Oh my god.
We were in that chain together video.
Yeah.
Every time, if people for whatever reason don't know what the game is, like, you just go up as much as you can, and one minor fuck up, you got to start all over. And there was a point at towards the start of the game where every time we'd fall, we'd have to take this elevator back up.
Like an L.
Yeah, basically.
That too.
And there was 2 statues like on the left and right of the and every time we'd see it, Connor's like, "Oh, look, it's the gritty statues." And after about the 7th or 8th time, we were like, "You need to shut the
There
hell
were
up."
murderous thoughts.
No, yeah,
I
oh my god.
totally know that this is a dead joke, and I'm just throwing it every time we
because
see
me
it.
and James were giving him a reaction.
The annoying part is that it's super convincing, though. So you genuinely think that he thinks he's hilarious.
No, I knew he was doing it to like piss us off after a while.
I started losing it. I started losing that reality very fast.
No, It got bad. We haven't played this game in like a month. We've gotten about, we're almost halfway done. And we took a break.
I would say the last instance where I said that phrase and I started doing the little dance, I think James was quite genuinely losing it.
Oh my no!
I've never seen him sound like that. He was like, "I'm gonna quit.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna quit."
He was like laughing. He was like belly laughing, and he's like, he finally caught his breath. He's like, "Oh my God, I want to quit. I hate this game so much." Like he was having a fucking breakdown. He was having a mental breakdown in this game, and I'm like, "Oh my God, James is gonna lose it."
This is the last time we're gonna see James.
The workplace at Jumperscape is very safe, and everyone is taken care
This is
of.
a positive.
Absolutely. I feel it. I totally get
God,
it.
help us.
Yeah. No.
What was the question? It was something about lore.
No.
We like to have fun here.
What was this about freaking
No,
lore?
the question was about Connor's zip up, and you all just went on a tangent. Other than that, no, no. You are doing great. No.
That's so weird.
Oh,
We're not
man.
known for that.
That's all it takes for us.
Oh my God.
Shit. Oh man, I guess another thing too. I guess I can go back to Halo is when it comes to like 343. How do you feel like them going forward with the franchise? Do you feel like, are you confident? Are you anxious? Are you nah? Like what are we thinking here? I like
I
Connor's
have
like,
about
Shane, go ahead.
I have about
yeah,
10
absolutely.
magazines I'm ready to unload right now. So ultimately, as of right now, I want to make my stance clear. I'm hopeful, but 343 for me has a vote of no confidence, but I have no choice but to have faith because they're going to be in charge of Halo, like until something drastic happens. I think they have the potential to make a great overall Halo game because I think the potential was there for Infinite. It just launched incomplete even after a year delay. I think their storytelling, Halo. I don't know how everyone feels about it, but I love Halo 4's story and I love Halo Infinite's story. As far as I'm concerned, those are the only two 343 games. I'm kidding. I know Halo 5.
I mean, they
exists,
almost
but-
are.
Yeah, basically. Halo 5's story was a shit show, but I know how a lot of people like Halo 5's multiplayer. Me personally, not that big of a fan of Halo 5's multiplayer, but I definitely see the niche it had. I think they just need to actually launch a game complete. Don't they have a tendency to like overcompensate when in terms of feedback. I think they need to dial it down a little bit. Take feedback. I think they take feedback well also. I just think they need to make sure a game is actually complete, like original multiplayer maps. There's no reason Halo Infinite should just not have Griffball right now. There's game modes in Halo 4. I mean, outside of Forge, I'll say that because there is Griffball in Forge, but they shouldn't rely on the community for that. They shouldn't be actively removing game modes that were classics in like such as like in Halo 4.
You know, Griffball is impossible, right?
Huh?
Griffball can't like really be done.
Why?
You can't force armor colors.
Anyways, it gave me more of a reason to be pissed off at him. It has been done in Forge though, so but again, it should not. And I want to first and foremost, I love the Halo community. I think the Halo community is keeping Halo alive and well right now, and that's been a big topic on Twitter over the last few days.
Thanks for everybody who's tagged us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing. Like first and foremost, like I'm not saying like there shouldn't be a spotlight for the community. I'm all for like having Forge maps and modes featured on the actual like playlist of Halo, but I don't think that kind of stuff should be like they shouldn't rely on that. I think just ultimately, long story short, launch a game finished, make sure there's Forge, don't cut corners with game modes, keep the weapon sandbox large and every gun has its own niche and make them feel viable. Don't remove certain vehicles. I still don't understand like the mindset with removing certain weapons and vehicles like the Mantis or we haven't seen the Hornet back. It's just, there's a bunch of things that just they've removed.
What do you mean? The Falcon has been sitting in the files for 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, it sure has. It sure has.
It's so easy sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
There's-
Oh, I could see. I could feel it. I'm watching, and I'm just like watching him visibly get more frustrated. I love
it
it.
pisses me off, man. It fucking pisses me off. There's just so much that they could add that the community wants that they have.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, like the Bandit rifle was done for
6 months before launch.
yeah, and they waited so they'd have something to launch with the new season or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And I'm like, especially in a time where like the franchise and 343 is under fire, you need to unload the clip. You need to launch everything that you have possibly ready. You don't wait for a new season. If your player base is falling off that fast like Halo has, you need to keep stuff coming out. Like if you have stuff ready in the files, you need to push it out. If it's whether it's a map, a game mode, new weapons, armor, all that kind of stuff, you need to just make sure most of it is there at launch, or make sure there's if you're going to do like the season route on it, you need to make sure like as much content is available at launch as possible. And then if you want to release other stuff throughout the season, then sure, whatever. But ultimately, like make sure your games are finished before you launch them. That's where I'm at with it.
I think they've given up by this point because there's really no point. Your audience is completely fallen off by this point.
Oh, and Infinite's a dead game. It's chalk.
They're definitely working on other things. It's unfortunate what they're sticking with though with this whole like shop thing because the shop is fun and all of that. Some people are willing to pay for it. I have only ever bought AI because I wanted gameplay changing things. Plus, I don't know if anybody really took this into account when they were deciding to come up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of armor that most of it you have to pay for. But for the most part, all the Halo players that I know have their armor and they will never change it because that's them. And that's the problem that I think you run into when you have a shop like that is, are you really going to have the Destiny players that will change their outfits like every other week? I don't know it's really going to happen, but that's a good way to capstone my thoughts on Halo Infinite is I have done all of the operations, all of the seasons, everything. All of that is done. I've only ever bought one set of armor because one of our patrons said use my Patreon to do it, and it was because I wanted white and black armor. Just white and black. My armor has been primary white, secondary black for like 7 years, and there wasn't just a normal white armor set. It was driving me nuts. But they had the Voids, whatever it was, Void Ultra or whatever, and that was like $20 for just being white and black. So someone was very kind. I believe that was Kyle actually specifically who tossed over just enough to make it happen.
I was there for that.
And then everything else was AI. I have all of that stuff done. I have maybe a quarter of what's actually available in the game. Everything else is locked behind paywalls or Twitch drops.
Yeah, I don't. I'm missing. And don't get me wrong. There's actually a decent bit of cool armor. But
Decent
it's
bit of hot garbage too.
Yeah, no, it is like. Take Halo 5 for example. It's just like the amount of like there's a just because there's more doesn't mean better. Like majority of the armor in Halo 5 looks absolutely terrible. They're with like the select few of like a few armor sets. Halo Infinite, you at least have the option to like shoulder pad, wrist, chest piece. Like Halo 5, it was helmet in your body. That's it. Like it felt very restrictive. And then you go about like how bad the armor looks. Like you can't even attempt to try to make it look cool. Like there's only a few that look halfway decent. And that's just go back to like the original way. Like the customization in Halo Infinite is so close to being perfect. It's just how you unlock certain things in the coding system that like really, really hold it back.
Well, hey, at least now you can use all of your helmets and all of your shoulders, your chests, wrists, legs. And everything else, no, but it's okay. No. It's only been 3 years since launch. Okay, you gotta be more patient than that.
Now we can get charged $30 for a set of armor.
Hell yeah, brother!
Exactly. I don't see. That's my one gripe was like I remember when it was like season 1 and they were like, oh, we got some new stuff. Let's check this out. And it's like, oh, pay $10 for a red coating. Like you're out of your fucking mind. Like no, like that's crazy. And then. I don't know, man. Like I feel like prices are kind of like crazy, and it's for me to say, but I spend money. I spend a lot of money. I put a lot of money into that game, so I'm one.
No judgment.
I'm one of the problems. I'm one of them whales that just spends ungodly amount of money. Yeah, I know. I ain't gonna shame it, bro. I will go through it, and like it's bad.
I haven't spent a lot of money, but I have to get like certain battle passes and certain coatings. I definitely have.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like if you want to, since we were talking about like this like around the start of the game and like I guess content starved, you can say that. Me and James were basically in like full blown denial during the beta. We were like, like what pissed me off, they call it a beta, but like the game launched in like a week, and I'm like, they like looking back, I'm like, that was it. Like you didn't have to call it a beta, just fully release the game at that point.
Especially since the multiplayer was already free.
Exactly, exactly. Me and James were playing. Well, we were all playing, and me and James were talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like the sandbox is lacking a little bit, and I feel like there's a lack of game modes.
Yep.
And Jim's like, oh, this is just a beta. Like, there's gonna be more stuff at launch next week, surely. Fuck
Yeah.
no.
Right. Surely there'll be more.
Exactly, and I'm sitting there agreeing with. I'm like, oh no, like you're 100% right, James. Like, I'm glad. Thank you for soothing my nerves. The game officially launches, and there's like it's the same damn thing. I'm like, why were they calling it a beta when it's like everything that was in the beta is here at launch? Like they could have just dropped the campaign and made it like, you know, just release the game a little bit early if they were going to go about it that route. It was really stupid to call it a beta. I guess if you want to go in terms of like, I mean, maybe there was a few bug fixes at launch, but even then there was still a plethora of bugs when the game officially launched. It was just a lack of content. You gotta, I love Halo to death, and like the flagship of Halo is like the campaign and the story.
Yes.
What keeps people coming back is the multiplayer. You can't neglect the multiplayer.
No.
And that's again, it's like they've had a bad mix over like in Halo 4. I personally liked Halo 4's multiplayer, but a lot of people look back on Halo 4 and are like, yeah, I liked the story was good, multiplayer way too casual. Halo 5's multiplayer, people liked it, campaign, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite is very, very close to having a good mix of both. It's just a matter of removing stupid paywalls and just making sure the game is done when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
100%.
made all the work. It's made all the worse because of they did the major cardinal sin. I can round this out on this one. The major cardinal sin that they've committed is adding way too much Reach stuff to the point that people are on Twitter saying, "Forget Reach."
That hurts.
Ooh, I have
hurts.
not seen that yet, and
Yeah,
I am
that is-
super.
They're like the most recent one. There was this operation has more Reach armor. It had operator helmet and all of that. People have been waiting for that for a while. And there was a Twitter thread thing going on for a while there where people were just like, how many times do we have to hashtag remember Reach until you start adding different things? And I'm like, yikes!
I know it. I mean, it's just crazy. It feels like it's a lot of like filler content rather than like actually like rather than just being like creative and doing their own thing. Which I'm not like. I always have the sentiment, or I always have the kind of my opinion usually is like my opinion really don't mean shit because I'm not a game developer. But at the same time, it does feel like kind of like running back to what you said earlier, where it feels like more so the community is what makes the game and what surrounds the.
It's what's keeping the franchise alive right now.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, no,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, no, and I agree. But the only thing that I feel like they kind of would turn new people away, and it's a shitty thought, but at the same time, it's like, because anytime now, like I remember back in like season, like I was thinking it's like season 1, season 2, when people are like posting like super positive shit. They're like, oh, this game's awesome, this and that, boo, boo, boo. But then again, we haven't had a game for how many years? It was 4 or 5 years, whatever, and. It's like I feel like a lot of people were riding that high of that we got a new Halo game. Let's do this. But then it's like now, like if I ever like search something up, I'm like Halo Infinite, and it's like 343 bad, 343 killed this, and it's like I don't feel like as even a fan of Halo, and then as a creator, I feel like it's gonna turn a lot of new eyes away because the first thing they see when they type up the game is gonna be negative. So I guess that's just like I don't know. That's just the one. That's really my only gripe as far as that, but. Outside of that,
that's the difficulty though.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to put a spotlight. Like you can only spotlight the community so much before people are like, okay, but like, what's the game you guys?
Like,
are
what is the
talking about?
actual,
Yeah.
developers
And then I'm
doing?
and it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, no, I'll explain. So like, we were playing Halo 3, and they're like, wasn't that released in 2007? I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, what's the new game? I'm like, new game? I don't. What are you talking about?
We don't talk about that.
You have you heard of Spartan Runner? Spartan Runner, you can get it on your phone. It's really good.
Yeah.
This whole conversation is just painful because like it's so close. It is so close to being like top dog again. I mean, it's not, but like it just so easily could be.
Yeah.
Like it can cater to like again, Halo is about fun and a relatively casual experience, but there is a very, very good niche for competitive play. And like it could touch like on all fronts, like competitive, casual play, a good story game, like there and like custom games and Forge. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Like it could it could cater to so many different player bases and attract so many different people. And yet they can't capitalize it. Like if you look at the numbers at launch and how many people play like during launch week, there is an absolute shit ton of people playing. And a bunch of major content creators like, yeah, I'm gonna play it for a few days. It's Halo, and then I'll probably never touch it again. Like I've seen a bunch of people like at the time when Halo Infinite came out, Tim the Tatman, if you're familiar with him, big COD streamer.
Yep.
He was playing Halo Infinite for a few days and then he stopped. People were asking him to go back. He's like, no, it's boring. It's been a month. There's nothing. He's like, I've tried. He's like, I got some armor I wanted. He's like, I don't play it enough to put money in. And Tim was like a top streamer at the time. He's still up there, but not as much anymore. And he was bringing.
He was on that COD Black Ops 6 showcase thing with all those Twitch streamers. And that
yeah. Hate to rain on your parade, buddy, but yeah.
There was so many like big streamers that like, oh my God, it's Halo. Like, yes, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
And then they can't retain those big names. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like,
for real,
you should focus on maintaining your average player. But like, if you want to keep eyes on the game, content creators and streamers that want to come back to the game and keep playing is going to influence other people to go play it. And a lot of these streamers have a younger audience and are like very easily influenced. And if they want to like, hey, like, yeah, go try this game, like you'd probably enjoy it. You'd be surprised of how many younger players that you'll draw in and you can keep and maintain over the years. And then they go back and play the older games like, oh my God, like this is insane. Like I wish I was, relatively conscious enough to actually play this game in 2007.
Yeah.
It's just like there's just so much opportunity to retain a bigger player base and put up those numbers that it used to, and they just don't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
I'm not in marketing or like I'm not a game developer by any means, but it does like it's 1 + 1 the way I look at it. Just there's so many different things that they can do to maintain this player base and keep people coming back, and they just don't do it.
Listen, man, you don't need to be a professional chef to know that food tastes bad.
No, exactly.
I love that. That's actually that's a great like analogy. That's fucking amazing. Like it's true though, yeah, because like you don't have to recognize, you don't have to be a smart guy to recognize shit for shit. Like it's
exactly. And I feel like a POS coming on here, like going on these these tangents and rants every now and then. But
open the door.
We need. You did say we could go for it.
Yeah, no, bro. I told you go for just a heads up, guys. I told them they have free reign. They were like kind of cuss. I was like, got like yes, cuss.
I'm doing just that. I'm yapping.
Yeah,
I'm yapping a lot.
Have a good time.
You're fine. I felt bad though because the only thing is I haven't let Connor say anything. I was like, I wouldn't.
I've been going constantly. It's my fault if anything.
I was gonna say as soon as Infinite was brought up, these two I just know God. Yap, and then they're gonna yap again.
All right, Connor.
That's them with Halo.
No, spotlight is yours. Go ahead.
Keep yapping.
No, go ahead.
No.
Anyway, the yappening. It has different events, and
no, I love it. I genuinely love it. I think it's funny. It's great. No, it's awesome. So no, feel free. I just felt bad because Connor was over like twiddling his thumbs at one point, and I was like, oh man, I feel bad. Connor, what do you think?
No, it's nothing I'm not used to.
No, you're totally
true. Cut off on the show all the time. But I do have a way to pull this back into our creative space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting thing that I've noticed that I am not exactly sure if it's on purpose. It would actually probably be better if it was on purpose. If it's on accident, then yikes. But there's this little thing about 343 and their community, how they handle the community, that's a little bit weird to me. And that's they have this grassroots program. Everyone knows about the grassroots program. What I don't know is anyone that's not a streamer in the grassroots program. And streaming culture, we've already we as in the guys here, we've already had our own thoughts about what streaming culture really is and whether or not it's actually positive or negative on a to solely focus on in a gaming space. And I'm comparing it to what Halo used to focus on, and you're thinking of the days of like Rooster Teeth and
John Graham.
yes, like original long form video content creators, for example, folks that would get interested in Bungie, show up to events, they would make things together to the point that even Red vs. Blue is used in marketing material. Things like that. And you're looking at it now, and I'm not saying that they should work with folks like us or us directly. It's more interesting in the fact that, you know, you have someone, let's say, like, probably the person that I would guess gets the most contact with 343 is probably going to be someone like Hidden Xperia. But he doesn't get to hear almost anything.
Right.
And then you have like the testers and all of that, and they don't get to hear very much. And then you've got folks like us. You know, whenever I got to meet Sketch and Unishek and got into their DMs and met them in person and talked with them about potentiality, like I was pitching all sorts of ideas of like, oh, well, here, let's see if we can work together. We have all this set up. We have all this potential. We can definitely help with trying to make so that you're still pumping out consistent content that isn't to the quality of like a high schooler. This is like, we can make professional quality stuff. Actually, Stories from Waypoint, one of our shows we've been doing, is straight up our proof. Like us trying to prove, hey, we can do this not only consistently but frequently.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure if it's a planned thing, but it does seem interesting to me that, especially since the streaming space for Halo is just it's very bleak at the moment, which is really sad. MCC is lucky these days to get over 500 viewers across the entire platform. It doesn't seem like they're trying to support any space directly, which that's more concerning to me than just Infinite in the state of it. Because you're talking about, everyone's talking about the backbone being the community. Right now, the community is eating itself alive because they don't have anything to rally around.
Yeah.
You can look at recent events, like people are just constantly coming up in arms against each other, trying to figure out ways to dominate the other person or to exclude the other people. There's no the collaborative efforts fall flat. It's just there's no guidepost.
Nope.
And so because of that, because 343 has not decided to include themselves in the way that I would say that Bungie did very well, not saying that I prefer, honestly, I'm probably one of the few guys that would say 343 era is better. But that's the one thing that they've never really done quite as well, is trying to incorporate this utterly essential. I think everyone who actually is included with Halo's community would say the backbone of Halo is its community. They haven't done everything they possibly could to keep that thing active. They've been sort of trickle feeding it, and it doesn't help, especially if you're talking in the lore space. Oh gosh, I swear, I think we had Installation 00 have a whole little mental breakdown about how little there was.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that guy's videos I love. When he did his, because I'd actually previously messaged him and told him, I was like, dude, because he had reached out afterwards when I put that tweet out, and
of course he did. Definitely.
And I had told him, I was like, dude, you don't realize, like, dude, when you made those Infinite campaign DLC videos, I don't think you realize how much I fucking loved those videos. Like, I felt like he created it to a story of feeling like, dude, I'm there, like that, and then on top of that, building the helmet, like, bro, like that. I wish they would have pushed that out more than anything, because I mean, the lengths he went to make that and do everything was just incredible. And like you said, it's just like, if you're not, like, I get it, they have the Halo spotlight, that's cool, do your thing, but like there's got to be more, like I feel like there's more people out there that deserve it, like, and seeing you guys, whenever I seen them post y'all's calendar on there, I thought that was the coolest thing, which, by the way, is amazing. I forgot to tell you that as well.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That's super
dope.
Was
fun.
Yeah,
that was really fun. If you want, I can jump back onto what I think is actually wrong, but I could also real quick explain how actually sort of a challenge that project is.
Yeah, feel free.
Calendars are shockingly hard to make. Let's put it that way. So basically, Goose was in use. Not messages me. He posts on Twitter, what if I did a calendar? No one replies. Some people do, but he doesn't really get that much traction. So I message him, because what we do here in the Halo community, I would say primarily, like, we have our own business model, because that's something else to clarify. Jumperscape is not for Halo. We love Halo, and we're doing things in the Halo universe, but it's not going to be where we're staying. Like I said before, Chatternet is our last entry into the Halo community. That's going to be actually like fully funded, actual full production quality. Everything else like machinimas, that's going to be just extra stuff we like to do for fun. We don't know what universe we're going to touch yet. We've been sort of debating on which one we want to do, but Halo is almost out for us. But not to say that we're going to shut down the shows. They're going to keep on going because we love this franchise, but still.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so the majority of what we do in the Halo community is we find the projects that want to happen or they're struggling to happen, and we just jump in and be like, okay, how can we help you enable this? How can we make it happen? Probably the most interesting story from that hasn't really been talked about at all was Containment Media. They're making a short film series, and now they're making honestly like full-length films by this point. But they're a Australian film crew, and some of them are actually from the Australian film industry, as far as I'm aware. And they're putting together this really fantastic story that it's filled with action and drama and really interesting dialogue and all of that stuff. And it almost was not as good of a sell as it could have been, just because they didn't have the time to really focus in on some of the things that would make it more impressive. They didn't have the time to split the team between sound effects and VFX and all this stuff. So I reached out to the director, Jack Harvey, and I was just like, well, how can we help you out? And he's like, well, you guys seem to know what you're doing with audio. Do you think you could just do all the sound effects? Had like 2 days to put the sound effects together for that short film, but we still did it.
Oh my goodness.
And that was fun. That's the sort of thing that we do. And in this case, it was the same thing. Goose did not get the responses that he was looking for the calendar, nor did they have the funding, nor did they have a plan. Fortunately, your boy comes prepackaged with all of that stuff. So, reached out to him, and I was just like, okay, Mr. Goose, what is it that you need from us in order to make this happen? And how long will it take you to find all of the artists that you need for this whole project? And so he gets on finding artists while I get on getting the Indiegogo campaign ready. And everything in between, you guys already know what happened there. The Indiegogo campaign was beyond a success, 150% funded, with like 97 calendars ordered.
I still can't believe we got that much.
Oh my goodness, 97?
Yep.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so we have all that ready, and the process of getting those done was hilarious because we're talking 12 artists plus 3 because they were doing postcards that they wanted to hand out at HCS Worlds. So look for Goose; he'll be holding them.
Amazing.
But 12 artists working together, working in a aspect ratio they have never even sniffed before. We're talking 3,600 pixels by 7,200 pixels straight down. It is an awkward thing to work with. But because of the fact that it was that ratio and half of it had to be really plain so we could throw the calendar graphic on top so it's easy to read still. I mean, it was beautiful what they were able to come up with. For those who haven't gotten a chance to look at it, there's some of them that are showcased in the Waypoint Spotlight that came up yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember now.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3, I believe.
Yeah. Some of them are shown there, and the rest of them are reposted on our Twitter account, and they are just utterly fantastic. The framing that they had to do, the tricks that they had to pull, a lot of them went above and beyond to make some beautiful pieces that I am absolutely proud to showcase in this calendar. So now it's just coming down to making the actual graphics, which takes forever, by the way, and then basically shipping that off to our printers and being like, hey, we need this many, and they'll go that many, and I'll go this many.
That many? Are you sure?
Yeah,
man.
Well, first thing first, we have to send off the Indiegogo funding so we can pay the artists. But that's priority one. That's a given.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, and it's like you're probably like, man, like calendars, and it's just like, oh, let's just take it and make it cool, and then look what y'all, look what was created. You made you involved a community artist. I gotta give it to you, man. Like I think like they some of the ways that they pull off some of these graphics are just incredible. Like it is just. I don't know how I got on Blender for 5 seconds. I was like, nope, I'm done. Like that's enough. Like I can't even figure it out. Like, no, there's no
I had
way.
a solid attempt at making a donut one time.
Making a donut?
About it. That's all I got.
I downloaded a WinRAR pack and just totally whiffed it, and it just didn't work.
It's not an easy thing. Anybody who has the patience to learn Blender, you are better
Yeah.
than men than I am.
100%. I there's no way. It's just not for me. I was like, I'm just gonna stick to Photoshop because that's cool. That's it. Have Blender, bro.
Just stick with that. It's fine. That's what I'm doing. I'm enhancing their art. Let's be real. I'm just covering it up, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dude. This is funny because the other day I was going through like old videos I had, and I had this video of where I texted my wife. I was like, let's just do something funny. Watch this. I'm gonna text her like in-game characters, right? So I was like, hey, what's this? And she would just respond and say what it is. And dude, we got to Master Chief, and she has been with me for 7 years, going on 8. We're married. I was contemplating divorce after this one. She had called because they got to Master Chief, right? And she called him Darth Vader. And
What?
He's green.
That's criminal. That's not. Yeah, I would have been alerting the authorities.
So here it's not over. It gets worse. Okay, so
It gets worse.
How does it get worse?
she called the grunts dinosaurs. She called jackals horses.
The jackals are more dinosaur-like than grunts. What?
Horses.
Jackals, horses, brutes, sumo wrestlers.
I'm sorry, Connor.
No, I can vibe. I can vibe
That's
with sumo wrestling. That seems pretty cool.
I don't know what sumo wrestling she's watching, but good God.
Yeah, sumo. Yeah, sumo wrestlers, and then we got to elites, and elites had the coolest name I think I've ever heard in my life. Halo dudes.
Halo dudes. Well, hey, credit to them. She recognized them at least. They are an iconic design.
But it got to Master Chief, and she said Darth Vader, and I just was like, the caller you were trying to request is not available at this time. Like, I was just like, I'll talk to you in like 2 days.
Listen, I'm sorry that your experience was like that. I wish that it was different for you.
me and you both. But what can you do? I was like, do you even love me? Like, do you even pay attention to half the shit I say? you thought the dude from Halo was Darth Vader. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, it is what it is, you know?
You should have held up a picture of Darth Vader and see what she said.
Oh, I did. No, I did. Yeah, no, I did.
He's Darth Vader. That's
That would be
Master Chief.
awesome.
I mean, I would have took the green guy from Fortnite at that rate. Like, Darth Vader.
Oh,
Like, dude.
no, man, I couldn't do that. Oh, jeez.
The green guy from Fortnite? I just feel like
The guy from Fortnite. As fun as it is to make him do the gritty, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I guess I struck a nerve with the green guy from Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's about the only time I can ever like. That's like another thing too. They're like reaching out to all these different things, like the Halo cookbook and shit like that. And I'm just like,
Okay, don't shit on the cookbook.
We did an
don't
episode
shit.
on that.
No way, dude. Don't shit on the cookbook. Really? Is it actually got?
First off,
Okay.
First off.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Whoa, I am apologize.
it has lore in it. Okay, it's a whole story. The cookbook was written by a person who used to be a civilian journalist that got to live on UNSC ships and went from colony to colony, and he categorized all of the recipes that he could find, especially Frank's, because Frank's closed after the events of New Mombasa, okay? So second of all, the food is really good. The drinks aren't, though. The alcohol drinks are really disgusting.
We
I'm not
tried.
gonna lie.
We tried a few.
Wait, what food? Wait, what food and what drinks?
I remember doing the drinks.
It was the twin comets. Were you even there for? Were you even on the show?
Connor might not have been hired.
Well, I swear we talked about the cookbook one day.
No, we did.
You
We
might
did.
have just not been on the episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that poker table days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We used to record
swear.
on a. We used to
I
do this on a
swear.
poker table.
I could have been there for it though. I can't.
Maybe you just didn't try it. Basically, they lost me as soon as they had black licorice liqueur in there.
Oh no, yeah, that's no.
Ruined the whole thing, man. I don't know what that was about. But hey, everything else pretty darn fire. I mean, the fact that the recipe for Blast Soda is in there, sold.
Really?
You didn't even look, my guy.
I didn't. I just seen it. I was like, bro, can we like not like how like, dude? No, I had no confidence. I'm gonna be honest. I thought,
listen, man, you're a grown guy. You're a married man. You didn't have the slightest inkling, the strangest interest in a Halo cookbook.
I mean, I seen it. I was like, okay, maybe I might try it. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. You know. And then my wife's like, "What the fuck? It's a Moa burger!" And she's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm out." Like, no, there's no way.
It's incredible, actually. It's fantastic.
It was funny, the episode on the library where we did the cookbook. One of my buddies went to I think oh my god, I don't know, it might have been a bachelor party or something for one of his work friends. And he sent me a video. This man had the Halo cookbook just laying out in the open for the world to see, and he sent it to me like as we were doing the episode, and he had no idea. He had no idea we were doing this episode or anything. So it was like, I'm like, dude, there's just like no way. That's just so fucking funny.
Yes.
What a time. What a time.
Oh, I just read this too, and I guess I was supposed to say this, and I totally forgot. More Shots told me, tell Austin Corinne Robinson is the person at 343 you should attempt to get a hold of.
I don't want to talk to Corinne. I don't want to talk to Corinne. I'm not interested in talking.
Yeah, he
to her.
does.
No, I don't.
He wants to.
No, I don't. Because
Hit him up and
give me a reason why. Give me a reason why.
Give you a reason why. She personally emailed me telling me I couldn't be the franchise writer.
Ooh.
Welp. More of a reason for you to talk to her.
Personally emailed me after I was afraid I was going to get a phone call. You opened a whole thing, you know.
Pandora's box just got open, dude. This is sick. Keep it going.
No, you want to know? You wanted to keep going because I could. I got all sorts of things I could say about her.
Let's not.
You want one thing. One thing. Fairly certain she's the reason why Outpost Discovery isn't back yet.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
I never got to experience that,
Fairly
so
certain.
I'm super unfortunate.
Why are we on the show?
I know. I know. I asked myself too while y'all were still on, to be honest. Okay.
No Halo Cookbook, no Outpost Discovery. Wife thinks that Chief is Darth Vader.
That's the real travesty.
You're not voting confidence here.
Yeah, no. I've wanted to go. Does that count? Like, I looked at it. I watched it through a YouTube video. I couldn't.
Outpost Discovery in Chicago was actually very, very fun, though.
It was great.
It was great.
Shane won't look back at the photos, though.
Yeah.
You're built now.
Oh yeah.
At the time you weren't.
Yeah. At the time I was probably about 150 pounds soaking wet. Like a decent breeze probably would have blew me away.
You could curl yourself these days.
Yeah. No. I'm like 200. I teeter anywhere from like 205 to 210 these days, and it's just like from 2019 to like 2022, I got big. So it's just, I look very, very different. Very different. Very skinny and scrawny.
Emphasis on big. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Big.
Oh.
I love it.
But yeah, I won't talk about Corinne. Sorry, more. I know. I love you. I love you guys. I love November Black. You guys are doing great things. Don't suggest me to do that, please.
We already did. It's already in motion.
We'll put it out of motion.
More actually just replied and said, I asked her what November Black Productions could do to make our project canon. Corinne immediately shot that all down.
Bro,
Yeah.
you did the worst thing you possibly could have done with
checks
that.
out. That checks out.
I'm not gonna. Okay, listen. I'm saying it this way because I know that you guys prefer to be real than sidestepping. You made the exact wrong decision. You reached out to Corinne directly. Are you kidding me? Listen, okay. So here's the thing. First and foremost, prospective creators out there that want to make something canon for Halo, you won't. You never will. Not in a million years. You want to know why? Because 343 is super uptight about that stuff. Nothing that they haven't already thought of 5 years ago is going to get made by anybody. How do I know this, you might ask? Tarkov: A Halo Story, one of our most successful projects we've ever done. I reached out to Microsoft and 343 being like, hey, so how can I make this canon? I did a very good job of making it blah, 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 blah. You know, it was supposed to work because I worked really hard to make it fit in the canon. And then Microsoft reached out to me and they're like, oh, yeah, sure. You know, we could totally take it off your hands. You won't have the rights to it anymore, though. You won't be able to work on it ever again. I'm like, all right, I'll keep it. So, more, if you really want to continue down that path, just know that that will probably happen to you and your team.
Were they at least willing to pay you for it or no?
Oh, hell no.
No?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
no.
definitely not then. Yeah,
No.
like, yeah, that's mine.
Because that's the thing. 343 has it might not look like it, guys, but they have a plan, and
They do.
And so
They do.
because of that, like you can't honestly. Oh gosh, Halo Defiance. Halo Defiance. All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Brink. Can I call you Brink? Do you know what Halo Defiance is?
Halo Defiance?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. Shane, real quick, can you go on a tangent on your favorite Easter egg while I grab it?
Favorite Easter egg in Halo. I believe it's called. I believe in Halo 3, Crow's Nest. It's the Marines that are talking to each other, like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, oh god, it's like in the highway area.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And-
The
and
different difficulties it switches.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And he's like, oh, the one Marine's trying to get in. He's like, how do I know you're not one of them? No, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not letting you in. What's the passcode? I don't know. I was always very entertained. That or the yapping grunt at the very end of Halo.
Yes, where you got to pull off to
Right
the side.
Yeah,
Jerk
exactly.
store called.
They're all out of you. Yep, that
Mhm.
one. Right before you make the big jump. I cannot tell you how many times we I stopped playing Halo 3. Well, like when I say stopped, I mean like on that part I stopped and ran over there just to listen to him. Or like go to last checkpoint, go back, listen to him again. I was so mesmerized by it. Especially because Halo 3 was also probably like my first introduction to Easter eggs as well. When I first started playing, because like again, I played Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank. As far to my knowledge,
Mhm.
back in the day, there wasn't many Easter eggs. I was like, Halo showed me like my first I got a legit taste of Easter eggs. So those are probably my top two.
There you go.
Thank you, Shane.
You're welcome.
Halo Defiance is the closest that any Halo fan has ever gotten to making any of their content canon. This is how smooth we are, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was seamless, dude. That was, hell, I thought I asked the question. That's what fucked me up.
So, this is Halo Defiance. It's a novel.
Okay.
It's in paperback. You could at the time order this on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. It is the closest that any fan has ever gotten to making their work canon in the Halo universe, aside from Fistful of Arrows, but that was a whole different situation, and even then, 343 and Bungie don't really call it canon. Halo Defiance was written by a man named Alexander Furman, Phoenix Affliction on TikTok and YouTube. Not saying his name for you to go and attack him. He's a really cool guy. I'm saying his name so you go and check him out and see what else that he does, because despite the fact that I don't like this book... he had the nuts to go and try to make this happen. It is a solid book that is about almost 400 pages long, and he sent this to 343. He found the contact info of the right people to talk to, not Kareen, because Kareen's the wrong person to talk to. She might be in charge of the whole thing, but that's not how you climb the ladder. You don't try to leap the skyscraper. You gotta climb properly. He got in touch with the right people, and he tried to get this thing published. Now, this is a cautionary tale for you people out there. When he did this, they didn't reach out back to him. He said that he submitted it, and he was hoping that they would make it canon, or at the very least take it and then edit it with their franchise team and make it canon that way. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the off-center Halo logo on the cover. Maybe it's the whole thing that the entire cover is AI generated. Who knows?
I'm sorry.
But
Touchy subject right now.
yeah.
Touchy subject right now. I'll be the one to say it. I don't care. I'll be the one to say it.
Thank you.
We were all thinking it. I'll be the one to say it.
My mic was muted, but I unmuted it for that. Anyways, back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
But he
Stop laughing.
I just can't believe it. So when he wasn't getting messaged back, he went to I don't know if they're actually called this, but I like to call them vanity publishers. Vanity publishers, which funny enough, there's I think there's a character in here that has the same name as the company that published this. But you can just put your book through them. They'll do the cover, they'll do the printing, they'll do all of this stuff, even hardcover. That's impressive. They'll do all of that stuff and put it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and anywhere else they can put it. Clearly, this company did not look into what this book was. This book was on storefronts for about 2 years. And all of the sales were from Halo book lore nerds who were like, I don't remember this releasing. What's this? And buying a copy. I only have a physical copy because I bought it for twice the price that it was sold at from one of our Jumperscape Discord users. It's
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he did not. It didn't last further than 2 years because eventually, basically, the publishers wised up. This is stuff that he talked about in his Discord, so this is just perfectly public information. They wised up and they were like, "Yo, we didn't know that that's what you were doing. Being real with you, we're just gonna not. Sorry about that." And so he pulled the book down from, they pulled the book down from all platforms. And he, as far as I could tell, because I'm in his Discord, as far as I can tell, he took the book down everywhere else. So you can't even like read it on like a fan fiction site or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, this is the only place that you can read this book now.
Sheesh, man. So, so I mean, he didn't really he didn't get like no cease and desist or nothing crazy like that, did he?
Despite us warning him on our show, because we had 2 episodes about this. We had the first episode where I ranted for an hour about how bad this situation was. And then episode 2 of that thing where we pulled him onto the show because he messaged us being like, "Man, you really chewed me out. I didn't even get a chance to defend myself." And I'm like, "You could come on, but you still don't have a chance to defend yourself." It's an interesting relationship that we have. He's aware of how much we don't like the work that he did, but he's also aware of how much we appreciate that he just kind of went for it.
I respect it, if anything.
And he just, oh man, I don't know. It was an interesting situation all around.
So I remember him being a pretty cool guy.
He was a nice
No,
guy.
he was a good guy by all means, but yeah, it's just
He's good people.
bad situation. Bad situation.
100%.
Could be worse. It could be like Activision after him. You know what I mean?
Because they shut down that H2M shit, and that was kind of a
I
big
was
blow.
so dumb.
No,
It was so
no, we
dumb.
can't. I'll talk for another hour. We can't. No, we can't. We can't. The theme, the same. No, we can't. We cannot go to that rabbit.
The blue
'Cause
lights are on.
You have no idea like how pissed off I was about that, like getting
going
shut
anyway.
down.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not.
it's just another box we opened, boys. Just
no,
go
I'm done.
again.
No, I'm done. I was very pissed off that how that happened and the events that happened leading up to it. There's one thing in particular I want to call out, but I'm not gonna. It just because I don't want to get too off topic here because we've already been talking for a good bit.
No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. I understand.
It's been a good minute.
It's been an hour and a half.
I've been hanging out.
In 10 minutes.
No, I'm going off the deck right here. It says an hour and a half.
Oh, I don't have eyes that are that good. Okay, I see the big number clock over there.
I mean, you could just say you can't see the clock from
My
eyeball.
ball. Just say that
Instead of just be like, bro, I can't fucking see.
this is America. I'm sorry.
That's true.
That is true.
I never
You do
thought
have-
of it that way.
You do have that right not to see. You are right. Absolutely.
You have the perfect right to not be able to read, Connor.
Besides, I have. I'm gonna stop. My bit is perfect.
I'm tired and we're getting
So,
delirious.
so anyway, Halo. What else you got?
Yeah, throw us another
We
question
are
or something because we're not too locked in at this point. So hit us with something.
You're totally fine. No, you're totally fine. I guess here's a good one. This is the one I really like to ask people because it really kind of it makes me judge you a little bit.
All right.
What if you could experience one Halo for the first time all over again? Which one would it be?
Halo 3
Halo
ODST.
3.
ODST. Halo 3 ODST.
Oh, okay.
So
I
he's
didn't know if you was holding up a 3 or a 4. I was so confused.
Anytime I do that, my pinky is just. I don't know.
No, definitely
Thank you, years of football.
Definitely Halo 3. Like I know the story was kind of a like it was watered down in comparison to Halo 2, but the level design and the gameplay of Halo 3 is just so much better.
Plus the inflection and how the voice actor for Truth went gloss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think like Halo, the way I look at it, Halo 2 has the best story in the franchise, but Halo 3 has the best campaign, if that makes sense. When I think of campaign, I think of like level design, weapon sandbox, vehicle sandbox, and just Halo 3 basically outperformed. And I don't think Halo 3's story is bad by any means. It's just Halo 2 set the bar very, very high in terms of story. I fully believe Halo 2 has the best story, but all in all, I think Halo 3 has just a more has a better campaign in terms and like in every other aspect. Halo 3 outshines Halo 2.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm saying ODST just because that was straight up like that changed my whole life. I'm not gonna lie. That whole experience, I was just like, I'm alone in the world. I'm out here suffering. I need to find my team. But I'm like 13, so I'm like, I'm out here suffering. No, that was how I got into doing audio dramas. Was the terminals that you could, or the audio logs you could find.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone out there, I know that you exist. Don't try to pretend that you don't. Halo 3 ODST players who have not listened to the entirety of that thing because you couldn't bother and go listen to go and find them all. First of all, find them all because there's a hidden ending if you do that. Second of all, just find it on YouTube if you don't want to go that far. It's a really good story. Plus, it's yet another example of ODST being based on Dante's Inferno, so it's just cool.
Yeah.
Connor, why would you want to replay ODST again?
Just to go through the city.
This guy is very simple in his ways, but he's admirable because of it.
Yes.
The city, the music, the
Yeah.
jazz.
You like jazz?
Marty out here proving correct that you can make a war game with saxophone in it.
Yes, dude. Yes.
And you can talk about whatever you want about the person, but his work, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I will say in terms of ODST, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was this Halo game. They finished it like well in advance, and Microsoft was like, "Good, you have X amount of time, polish it, or keep adding to it, or something like that."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
I forget how
finished-
much time it was, but they finished it in like a very short amount of time, and they were like, "Cool, you got like X amount more months to do whatever you want with it," and they just kept polishing it. So I respect how much it was polished.
Yeah, because they had less than a year.
100%.
And then they told Staten, because he was the guy that was heading up the project, they told him, they were like, okay, you'll have an extra 9 months to work on it. And Staten's like, but the game is done. We matched the deadline. It's like, no, it's fine. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Cool. Watch this. Hold my beer. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think, dude, I really genuinely think like out of every soundtrack for any game, like Halo always has the best soundtrack for any music for any game you could ever play. Like it don't matter if Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Spartan Assault. I'm kidding.
What are you talking? No, hold up, pause. Dude,
What have you done?
Have you even
haven't
once listened to Assaults or Strikes soundtrack?
I have not. Do I need
Brother.
to? Do I need
Oh
to?
my gosh!
I almost feel like we're going through our entire last season in just one
Straight
song
up!
right now.
Straight up! Okay, listen, man.
Put me
Listen,
on. Can I tell you something though? Can I tell you something before you start? I'm sorry.
Sure, why not?
Let me
Let me tell you.
something.
I did learn something today while I was listening to y'all's podcast. Okay, I did learn something,
Well, that's good.
and yes, there is something that I did learn, and that was that in I think it was Halo CE, Marty, like you're like, oh, the cool girl voice, who's that? And it's actually Marty, just pitched
I didn't
up.
know that either. Yeah,
And
I didn't know
I
that.
was like, wait, no. And then I listened to it, and now all I see is Marty's face, like saying it. And I'm like, you know, I appreciate that, but I could have went my whole life without knowing that.
I exposed a whole lot of people to unhearable information. Like,
Yeah.
they will never be able to take that out.
No.
You will suffer with me.
Yeah, but I mean, it was cool. So that's what I learned. Now you can berate me. You're more than welcome to. Absolutely.
Sweet. You need to listen to Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike soundtrack after we're done. Because
Okay.
listen, man. Spartan Strike, it's a combination of Halo 2 and Halo 4's style on purpose because Strike goes back to Halo 2. It's good.
Okay.
Really good.
I will take your word for it. I apologize. Okay.
Take my word and listen to
Yeah.
me.
As soon as you even said anything against him, like, oh boy.
I love how
know.
everybody's faces like turned toward him as soon as I said something about Spartan Assault. It was
Yeah,
just like,
because I'm the only Spartan Strike and Assault apologist that I know of, and nobody else out. Like most people haven't even played it. They're like, "Oh, the game for the Windows Phone." It's like, "Are you kidding me?" Now you got me going.
I know. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's always good to get your heart rate up like right before it's supposed to go to bed. Like it is.
Oh yeah, especially since like I've been drinking straight up like glitch energy, which has like all sorts of crap in it that keeps you going.
Use
Oh,
Connor
gosh.
1-for-1.
There you go.
I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, no, you were.
I was.
So say if anyone starts the promo code and says my name, I gotta spell it out for him.
Yeah, what was it again? CONNER 141. Yeah.
Connor, you can go if you don't feel
I
safe.
I saw his eye twitch.
CONNOR.
141.
Is that
Check
two?
out.
Is that two O's or one O?
Technically, there are two
There are
O's.
two O's.
There are two O's, and there are two N's, starting with a C, ending with a R.
Oh, Connor.
We need to wrap this up. We need to wrap this up.
I don't even have caffeine in my system. I can feel my heart rate going up. Right now.
Oh man, we're probably gonna be here for about like 10 more minutes just to give you a time frame.
Absolutely. No, I
feel like
definitely. No, I definitely like appreciate you guys for, you know, I guess this is kind of like the more so I guess moving back to the like seeing what you all do. That's what I meant to say earlier. But like you all make Halo content fun by like just listening. Like over these past weeks, I've had time to listen to you guys, and I just really admired like how much fun you all have, because it's literally like I picture like me and my boys like sitting here talking about it, and it's literally like you all do a visual representation of that. Like you all just have so much fun with it, and like I get such a fucking good laugh out of it every time. So I guess that's where I'm giving you your all's flowers and doing your all's thing. So
I mean, that's
Well,
good because like we kind. Sorry, Austin.
No, you're fine. I'll say this real quick.
Okay,
fast.
go ahead.
Live chat. If you're active right now, give us a "we like to have fun" here, because that's how we like
Please.
to live. Go ahead.
I'm pulling up the watch.
But when we started doing this, it's nice that you said that.
yeah,
Because we wanted to model the library after being kind of like, again, more of a casual style, but we wanted it to like emulate like a bunch of friends who were in an Xbox party talking like with like you're in an Xbox party talking with your friends about Halo. So I mean, what you just said tells us that we've done a relatively decent job at, you know, portraying that. So
yeah.
that's good to know. Good to know.
Absolutely. No, I like to give flowers, dude, when they're due. So I mean,
I
dude,
like roses. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. You're getting tulips.
I'm a hyacinth guy personally.
God.
You're getting poinsettias.
Oh, okay. You know what? It's to get those every year. That's okay.
Connor, what flowers you want?
Ooh, God. Roses. I don't know.
Both of them want roses. Can you afford that much?
I was really praying
That was-
Connor would have looked dead in the camera and said dandelions.
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 That's one of the season.
That was like the only
Oh,
flower
God.
that even came to mind. I don't deal in that area of life.
I don't deal with that.
I don't think of flowers. I think of testosterone and heavy metal.
Give me creatine. Like
Caffeine.
Meat.
Like, a minute time of caffeine. Oh yeah, brother.
Fucking charcoal and shit.
Oh my God, we need to be done. We're going buck wild.
We're having a great time. I don't know what you're
This
talking
is
about.
Definitely late night.
Holy
No,
shit.
this is definitely late night gaming.
yes,
Oh,
yes, it is.
It's not though, but it's not.
I love him half to death.
We're gonna get sued somehow, somewhere.
No, he had a great time on the Halo Wars episode.
He did.
Yes.
We're good.
Here, if I may, I would like to take this last few segments of ours to really like shout out some of the folks that have worked with us, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
A lot of
Sweet.
people.
I got this.
Okay.
I can write 100 words per minute. I can speak faster.
Okay.
I don't see a list on his phone. This is from the top of his head.
Yeah. So what we've got, we have worked with a lot of people over the course of our time with this whole thing, and this is also going to be a way of us shouting out the work that we've been able to do in the shows and the other projects we've worked on. But Containment Media and November Black, they are some of the most interesting visionaries in Halo's fan film scene that I've seen since Dawn Under Heaven. The work that they're able to do is incredible, and I very much look forward to working with them on the work that they're trying to make happen. We have tons of voice actors and actresses that I would not be able to name all of, because there's over 100 of them. But working on things like Tarkov, a Halo story, and stories from Waypoint, being the intro voice for the library, Mr. Jack Fisher, with his golden tones that he didn't realize he had, or other guys like Paul Green Dennis, who even golden-er tones. The people that have taken time to do things like bring Spartan Kelly to life in an authentic way in our shows and all of that, absolutely wonderful. Big, huge shout out to our buddy Sergio, hashtag 3 dots. He's a great guy. He has done the art for every single show that we've ever done.
He made my hoodie design as well.
Yes, and he also did. He did. Actually, yeah, James's. He did James's design as well. He has done so much, including the animation for our 24/7 Halo Lo-Fi radio that is going right now on YouTube. So those creatives are fantastic. Neek 3D, he helped make the Chatternet cover art. He made the baseline. He made the Spartan armor by himself from scratch. It was beautiful stuff. Then with our other projects, folks such as my wife Cheyenne, who works tech for us whenever we're doing our shows, James's girlfriend Ashton, both of them are super helpful whenever we're putting all these things together. They are fantastic to work with. All of the artists that we've ever worked with that have done things like the calendar and have made a significant contribution into how excited we can get with our projects, knowing that we have people that are professional and able to get stuff done quickly. Composers, people who have helped us make music. Kevin, I miss you so much. I know that you're out working on games like Jedi Survivor, but I miss you a whole lot. You're a really cool guy. We don't get to talk very often because you're Irish.
Multiple if you're talking about, mate. Go ahead.
Shout out to Yafet Meza, who refuses to tell me how to pronounce his name. I called him one time and I said, well, how do you say your name? Is it Jafet? Jafet? How you say? He's like, however you want. I'm like, that's not how names work. But he and Mitchell Broom working together to make Tarkov, a Halo Story Season 2 soundtrack and Stories from Waypoint original soundtrack coming soon. All fantastic. Your work is immaculate. I love working with you guys. Crustacean. This is his name. It's not just, I'm not shouting out crabs right now. Crustacean.
Crustacean. We need to call Austin's losing his fucking mind.
Crustacean and Barmuda, 2 different artists who have worked with us on something very special that we haven't revealed yet related to Tarkov, a Halo Story Season 2. Patrons will know what we're talking about when it comes to them, but everyone else, no. But they have made something utterly immaculate for this project, as well as another guy by the name of Wraith. Wraith produced something else that was really cool that I can't talk about yet, but I love him a whole lot. And last, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to cap it here just so I don't have to keep on going down the rabbit hole because we can collaborate with so many people. Shout out to the people behind Coral, a Halo fan game, and other unreleased projects that have not made themselves public yet. You guys are awesome, and we very much enjoy touching the game franchise, like the gaming world, in a way that is not just the official stuff where we have to deal with things like publishers. You guys are fun to work with.
Whenever you say last but not least, I half expect you to say
Yeah,
Warm Apple Swells. Yeah, he's the last guy on our usually on the last guy on our Patreon list. His name is Warm Apple Swells.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Warm Apple.
There
Swells.
actually is one other. I do have to actually. This is basically like I will feel bad if I don't say it. Scion Esports.
Yeah, I was gonna say what the hell.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Scion Esports from Lake Charles Toyota. Those guys are fantastic. They host wonderful LAN
Give us
events.
free Toyotas.
Give us free Toyotas.
Give us free Toyotas.
Their team is fantastic. They have done a whole lot of good for the esports community within Halo and a bunch of other franchises. And they are also one of our most dedicated and passionate sponsors. So they deserve a whole lot of praise for helping us make a whole lot of this stuff possible. So yeah, that's shout out to these guys too, I guess.
I guess so. I guess they're all right.
Yeah.
Shane,
more voices is better on the algorithm.
Oh yeah. No. Shane, Connor, do y'all have anything you'd like to shout out or plug anything? You're more than welcome to.
The main thing I want to plug is definitely I think the most underrated thing that we work on is probably our YouTube channel on the Battle Dudes, DOODS on YouTube. It's very, very, very funny stuff, and I feel like there's a lot on there that a lot of people would really enjoy. If you guys like want to see what we're like when we're just like gaming and like shooting the shit and not really focusing in and like we're just being us. You want to see the most genuine version of us, you'll see it on that YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it captures every just part of either hate, love, friendship, everything, especially in our chain together video.
Yeah, that's the main thing I want to shout out because it makes me happy whenever I go to whenever we watch the newest episode of whatever's uploaded. I go to the comment. Usually, there's always at least one comment from someone different. Like, you guys are so underrated. You guys should have more subs.
Mhm.
And I'm like, not to toot my own horn, but I agree. I think we should. I really do think we should. Like, we're consistent. We, again, very genuine. Nothing is like staged. Like, it's a very genuine version of us, and if that version of us is doing well, then that's a little pat on the back for us. So shout out to the Battle Dudes YouTube channel.
If you build it, they will come.
Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out, Connor?
Well, you guys have already covered like the two things that I would have wanted to shout out. So how about our own Discord server?
I
about that.
I was gonna jump on that if you didn't, so I'm glad that you said it.
Yep, so throw out the link out there.
Yes, that is discord.gg/jumperscape if you want to join the community directly. What bits of the community do you appreciate the most, Connor?
Honestly, general chats, it's a blast. Granted, we all know what general chat could be like.
Everything.
The forums. I just love interacting and going through all the forums that we have, whether it be the gym chat that we have, the anime chat that we have, the cars chat that we have. Why are so many Halo people car people?
I don't know. We attracted all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they all were looking for a common ground to conjugate, and we provided that common ground for them. Cars, vehicles.
But on that note, with the Discord, we have to shout out. We genuinely need to shout out one last person, bro. Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Kyle is probably like, if we were going to talk about investments before we even have contracts, that man is the primary investor.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say we have to be careful around just jokingly saying what we want around him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He
Because go ahead.
I was gonna say like I was talking about shoes one day. And I mean, also shout out to Ian in our Discord. He also bought me some shoes. We were literally talking about clothes one day, and brother bought me some Yeezys, and like I thought he was bullshitting. Then a few days later, they showed up on my doorstep. Kyle at HCS is also giving me another pair of Yeezys because again, I mentioned briefly in the Discord that I'm a big shoe guy. And he's like, all right, well, what do you want? And I'm like, well, I've always wanted Yeezys. I don't have any. He's like, all right, well, see you at HCS. I'm like, okay, cool. So at HCS, I guess I'm getting Yeezys. Like, if you say we want something, he will, like, we have to tread carefully about what we say we want because he will not hesitate.
Yeah, you have to be like, I think probably the most significant one that I can think of is at one point we have a Sony FX3. That's the camera we use to shoot the show. And for anyone who is a camera guy, you already know that's an investment.
Yeah, it is.
And in the Discord server, I was like, okay, so if I was just giving a general update. I was just like, just so you guys know, we're getting so close to being able to do video episodes on Spotify going forward. We just need to build up another 250, and we're all good to go. And then through our coffee, he sends $250.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's... If there's a Jumperscape stock, he owns like 90% of it.
he has been so essential, and plus we have to give him appreciation. He does other things in the community as well.
Yeah,
we don't even know all of what he does.
No,
he's just one of those guys that's in the shadows.
He's very active in our Discord. He helps monitor things. He helps things like run. Helps organize game nights. He does a lot of things.
Yep.
So shout out to Kyle.
Well, actually, Mr. Brink, I refuse to call you Austin. It's just weird for me.
Absolutely. No, I didn't want to do it either, but I was like, I guess I got to. But can I say this? Can I say this real quick? And
yeah.
This goes back to, this is me giving you Ross flowers once again. It goes back to showing like the type of community you kind of created and how they support you because they believe in what you do. So I literally applaud that. Like that's super, super amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks. One more shout out. I mean, we can't really see it, but I feel like we should shout out Default for our Jumperscape sign. It's
yes.
One of the, you want to tilt the laptop so they can
Yeah,
maybe
just
see.
for a brief moment.
Yeah, default in our Discord server got us this jumperscape LED sign. I did feel like it was very important for us to give a bit of a shout out for that.
Yep.
It's one of the coolest pieces, by far one of the coolest gifts we've gotten. It's really helped pull our whole little studio together and made it feel like, okay, yeah, we're legit.
He's also one of the oldest fans.
Yes, he is.
Because before Jumperscape was a thing, I was the only guy doing stuff. I was the brain behind an Instagram account called Halo Ship Posts, and I swear if you say you know who that is,
No, I don't.
okay, thank God.
It sounded like you were gonna.
Because dude, listen, man, listen. I forgot Chief was here right behind me, by the way. Because listen, man. I went to HCS last year, and I was walking up to Xperia, I was walking up to Installation, I was walking up to Unishack, everybody. I was like, you guys know me now, but, do you guys recognize the name? Like, because they knew me as just Austin, just a dude. Like, do you know Jumperscape? Like, no. Do you know Lasso Halo? No. Do you know Halo Ship Posts? And all of them said yes. It really drove me nuts. But Default has been a fan since that account was before 400 followers. And that account now is at like 13.6K. So it goes to show how long he's been attached to this whole thing. And our audience can do some wild stuff. Which, speaking of what I was going to ask Mr. Brink, are you going to HCS Worlds in Seattle?
I will be there. Yes.
All right, you're going to have to look out for a yellow car with Jumperscape's logo on it.
Absolutely.
And 4 dudes wearing that jacket.
Yeah, because
say what's up to us.
yeah, because
Absolutely.
the thing is, Kyle is crazy. We've already established this. He developed what he's called the jumper car. It is a, as far as I'm aware, turbocharged yellow car because he themes himself after bananas for whatever reason.
Okay.
It's a yellow car that has Jumperscape's logo on it, and it's going to be packed with 64 McChickens because I won them in a 1v1 against him.
Wow, hold on.
Yeah, no, you heard it.
Yeah,
We don't have to say it again. You heard it right.
He called
a Minecraft stack of chicken sandwiches.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. A full Minecraft stack of McChickens.
He called every McDonald's around him to find one that would be willing to fulfill that order, and he found one.
No shot. So he called around and was just like, hey, 64 McChickens, like ASAP. Like, I need
and most of them were just... But yeah, we're pulling up to HCS with 64 McChickens. We're
They're
going to
probably
hand
like,
out
is
for
this
fun.
Mr. Beast calling us?
Yeah,
who is
The guy has so much fun, and that's exactly why he matches our vibe.
Yeah, that's amazing. 64 McChickens. I wouldn't know what to do with 64, but hey, I'll be, yeah. I mean, there's no way you're eating 64 of them, Shane. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Me alone, probably not, but between...
But imagine the macros.
Between all of us,
the fake protein.
we very well might be able to put a good dent in them. I truly, genuinely believe we could.
I think me and James would probably have some form of PTSD from when we tried to eat 80 McNuggets when we were teenagers.
Oh my god.
I
We didn't
forgot you did
try.
that.
We ate it. He barfed his guts out, and I was sitting here with like my belly looking like I was pregnant. It was all sorts of bloated.
Dude, I think maybe I could eat 10, and that'd probably be like my end goal there, be 10.
McChickens or nuggets?
Oh, McChickens. Nuggets, I bet I could eat 80.
Okay, I was probably like, bro, that's rookie numbers. What are you talking about?
Oh, look at me, 10-piece McNugget. Oh, watch out.
See, I don't want to
Gosh.
guess how many McChickens I can eat because I want to find out.
Fair enough. But yeah, we like to have fun here. That's a fun way
Yeah.
to capstone all that. We like to have
Absolutely.
fun here.
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. So if y'all got places to be, y'all got stuff to do, I understand. It's like 10 o'clock at night here where I'm at, so I could...
It's 10 o'clock at night here, so you're probably next door.
Yep.
Absolutely. I was the whole time, and I could see the ceiling from here, actually. So, nothing else. I got no more questions, guys. This is Jumperscape. Super dope, guys, man. I hope you all enjoyed. Yeah.
We had a great time. It was
Thank
fun.
you for having us.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
absolutely.
It was great talking to you. We'll
I
see you at
guess-
HCS.
Yes, I'll see y'all there. Thank y'all for taking time out of your day to do this. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for pulling us in.
Thanks for pulling us in, man.
All right, this is Austin, Shane, and Connor with ER. You know, we're out. No, I'm kidding. It's OR. What? All right, I'll see you guys later.
See you, brother.
Later.
That was incredible, man. That was awesome, man. It was so much fun to have them on, man. They're a good group of guys. I'm gonna be sure to put all their links down and we'll get him on. We'll get him on the video and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys, thank you for all the love. I'm so sorry. I got the raids from Piffin, Wolverine, Red Gear, and all the follows that came along with it. I appreciate that so much. Sorry, but when I'm locked in with the guest. I want to give them my full attention, so I don't want to do anything, to take away from the guest, because those guys were genuinely just so great. Like I would 10 out of 10 have them back on, just because they were just super fun.